going to discuss about the data warehouse architecture. In the previous classes, we have discussed about what is data structure, about the characteristics, and in the previous class we have discussed about various component of data warehouse. So we have discussed what are the component we require if we want to build a data warehouse. Now in today's class we are going to discuss about the architecture of data warehouse. Architecture of data warehouse can be two-tier architecture and three-tier architecture. These are most common architecture. Now in two-tier architecture, basically we are going to follow the client-server architecture. But in today's scenario, three-tier data warehouse architecture is mostly used. So for this reason, we are going to discuss three-tier data warehouse architecture. So the three tiers are, in the bottom tier, we have data warehouse server. In the middle level, that is the middle tier, we have OLAP server. And in the highest level, that is the top tier, we have front-end tools. So these are the three tiers. This is the pictorial representation of those three tiers. Here you can see this is the bottom tier, the data warehouse server. And firstly, we need to build the data warehouse. No? Then only we can represent that data warehouse in a three-tier architecture. So whenever we are going to build the data warehouse, there are some certain process that those we have discussed in the previous class. And obviously now we know that this extract, clean, transform, load, these are the ETL. So ETL is very much required for building a data warehouse. That is the data staging. But before that, we required data. Data is required at the first. Then only we can build a data warehouse for data. So from where the data come? As per we have already discussed, that data can come from various sources. It can come from operational database. It can come from internet. It can come from any external resources also. So from everywhere data can come. And as per the discussion that we know now, all these data can be of 4 types. Those are production data, internal data, archive data, and external data. So these are all 4 types of data, and after coming that all this data, we need to perform data staging. Okay, those are what? These extract, clean, transform, load, refresh. So all these operations are performed, and then the data is going to be loaded in the data warehouse. Now in data warehouse, the data warehouse is a very big thing, very large thing. The size of data warehouse is in millions, basically, millions data. So users are not very comfortable for handling in the various data. So for this reason, they can be distributed among some small portions. Those are called data marts. So data marts is actually the subset of data warehouse. The subset of data warehouse basically. So so here you can see from data warehouse, from one server of data warehouse, we can have multiple data marts. Basically those are the subset of data warehouse. And there are some other things also there. Those are the administrator, the metadata repository, the monitoring. All these are in the data warehouse. So that means whenever we are discussing the component of data, so all the things that we have in data warehouse, that means that is we have in the data storage component, all are coming in the bottom tier, and it is actually called data warehouse server. That is where the data is actually there, where the data is stored. Okay, so that is basically the bottom tier, that is the data warehouse server. Now from the data warehouse server, the data is coming to the OLAP server. OLAP server means what? OLAP server means the online analytical processing tools, basically, for where the server. So basically we are going to apply some analytics on these data. We are going to apply some analytics on this data. Some functions are applied, some methodologies are applied, and whatever we have, those are coming in the OLAP server. Those are not the output. Okay, those are not the output. Those are going to store in the OLAP server. That means we can say very simply that in the bottom tier, we are going to store the data in the data warehouse in a very large amount. And then whenever we apply some logic on that data, those whatever produced, those are going to be stored in OLAP server. So in OLAP server, basically with that data, some logical representations are also come. We are going to discuss about OLAP very vastly in the next classes. But now in the middle tier is actually dedicated for that OLAP, where all the analytics are done. Okay, so all the logical portions are come here in the middle tier. Okay. Now we have what? The top tier, that is the front end tools. That means how we are going to represent. So for that we can generate report, we can use query, we can query on that OLAP server and we can generate report from that. Those report are going to show us the output as spreadsheet or whatever from. Some analysis also can be done. It can be represented in graphical form. Some data mining results also can become. So whatever is the output of the analytics that is done in the middle layer, those are actually going to be represented to the user, because user required what? Only the output. So the output can be a report. Output can be any kind of analysis. Maybe it is a graphical representation or it is a spreadsheet representation, whatever required by the user. Basically, whatever required by the user. And then the output again can be applied in some data mining. Okay, so data mining is another thing that we are going to discuss later. So basically it is going to mine that data. Mine means what? We are going to mine it. That means we are going to search something in that. Okay, so there are different algorithms of data mining we are going to discuss later. But whatever come in the output of the middle tier, that is going to represent in the top tier, and in top tier it may be some application, it may be the user is going to access, but those are actually the front end tools. Okay, so these are the three tier. Okay, these are the three tier of data warehouse architecture. So now we are going to discuss all these in a nutshell. Data sources. All the data related to any business organization is stored in operational database. It may be in external files and flat files, you can see. So these are the data sources. The sources are application oriented, obviously, because they are coming from the DBMS system. So obviously they are application oriented. So complete data of organization, maybe it is a training details or maybe it is a customer details, sales department. So depends on the organization, what is the type of the organization, what is the type of data the organization produce, but it is a complete data of the organization. Okay. Now the data present here in different formats or host format contains data that is not well documented. So data sources are not well documented. So in the bottom tier, the data source come. So data warehouse server fetch only relevant information based on data mining. Okay. Request. So whatever request come from the data mining applications or data mining requirement, based on that, the data warehouse is going to fetch the data, because the total data source is available to the data warehouse. But why data warehouse deal with the total data? It's not required. Now, suppose it's required some employee related or sales related analysis. So they don't require the customer details or departmental or transactional. So only going to fetch the sales related information. If the data is a customer analysis, so only they are going to fetch the customer details. So whatever is required, only those portion of data is going to be fetched by data warehouse. So customer profile information provided by external consultant. So that is a very specific subject oriented. Okay. So data is fed into bottom tier by some backend tools and utilities. So backend tools are like this: data extraction. So these are the utilities and the functions performed by the backend tool. We know that those are basically the data staging. So those, what are the functions they can, because the data source is not very well organized, it is not a formatted data, well represented data, we need to perform all these things: data extraction, data cleaning, data transformation, load and refresh. So by these are the utilities basically. So by performing all these functions, basically the data is loaded in the data warehouse. So bottom tier contains what? Data warehouse, metadata repository, data marts, monitoring and administration. We have already discussed in this figure, it is clearly mentioned that these are we have in the bottom tier, and I have already discussed about those. Now what is data? Now just look at data warehouse. We have data warehouse in bottom tier. So it is an optimized form of operational database, contains only relevant information. So in data warehouse, the main thing is what? The data warehouse is subject oriented. That means it is built for a specific purpose. So whatever data is relevant to that specific purpose, only those data are going to come. Irrelevant data are not going to store in the data warehouse. So we don't require irrelevant data. So whatever data is relevant for the user, only relevant for the application for which we are going to build the data warehouse, only those data are going to store. So this is basically the main thing, the subject oriented. So it is going to contain only relevant information and provide first access to data, because it is in an organized manner. So obviously it should be first access. So data is coming in an integrated manner. So data, you can see data can come from various sources, and those various sources are not integrated. They are uniquely come and contribute in the data warehouse. So from those various sources, whatever data is required, the relevant data for a particular topic is going to fetch by the data warehouse. And basically, suppose some data is fetching from a particular database, some data you can see from, some data is fetching from A, some data is fetching from B. So these are different data source. A is not related to B, or B is not intersect with C. They are all different. So from all these different sources, data are coming and stored in the data warehouse. And so obviously we have a single unified view, an integrated version of data in data warehouse. Now the next thing is time variant. It is also a very important thing for data warehouse. It is time variant. What do you mean by time variant? Now suppose in DBMS, normally we say that if the value of A is equals to 100, it should be always A should be equals to 100 for that particular database. But it is not true for data warehouse. It may be possible for a time A is equals to 100. Maybe after some time it is going to be updated, and now the value of A is 120. So the old value of A and the new value of A, both are going to be stored in the database. So it is not only required what is the value of a particular data. With that, we also required in which time that is the value. Because with the time, the data value is going to vary. Okay. So maybe it is at 2010, the cost of a particular thing some is 50 rupees. But in 2020, it may be 100 rupees. Now, both the information is true. The cost of the particular thing was 50 rupees on that time. And now the cost is 100 rupees. So we should maintain both the information in data warehouse. Only we need to maintain the time. that the cost of that particular thing is 50 rupees at 2010, and the cost of that particular thing is 100 rupees now. So all these information is going to store. So only the data value is not important, not enough for the representation. We need to say in which time that the value is there. That means it is time variant. With the time, the value of the data is varied. So that is basically non-volatile. We are not going to lose anything. We are not going to delete anything. The delete operation is done very less in data warehouse. It is not recommended at all. Whenever some updation is made, we are going to store the old value also. So why? So for this reason, it is non-volatile. It is never going to change actually. So whatever new thing is added, we are going to create a new version for that. Okay, so the old value is never going to change. So it is not a volatile kind of thing that whenever we are restarting, we have the new started from the beginning. So it is a very much historical kind of thing. We are going to store historical data in data warehouse. We are actually going to store whatever we are performing today, we are going to store it tomorrow. So today is the history. Today becomes history tomorrow. So basically, whatever, suppose customer buy something today, so we are going to store it in data warehouse. So obviously it is a history now. The customer was bought. Now the customer is not buying. So it is a non-volatile. It is not going to lose anything. We are not going to lose anything. We are going to store everything. Okay. Now the metadata repository. This is also a very important part of data warehouse. So basically what it contains, structure of data warehouse. We know that metadata is basically data about data. So whenever we are going to build a data warehouse, the structure is going to store in metadata. That means the data about the data warehouse is going to store in the metadata repository. Now data names and definitions. Okay. Source of extracted data, algorithm used for data cleaning purpose, sequence of transformation applied on data, data related to system performance. That means every information related to a particular data is going to store. The value of the data is going to store in data warehouse. But other than that, whatever information we have about that data, from where it is collected, what are the applications, what are the algorithms are applied on that, what are the things we have done on that, everything is going to store, and it is stored in metadata repository. Okay, so everything about the data, that is basically the metadata, that is going to store in metadata repository. Now the data mart, I have already told it is a subset of data warehouse. So it contains only a small portion, a small slice of data warehouse. So basically, suppose if we are going to store, maintain a data warehouse for a particular organization. So we are going to maintain data mart for department. The organization can have many departments. So departments data is basically the subset of the organization's data. So if for organization we maintain a data warehouse, for department we should maintain what? Data mart, which is basically the subset of data. So those data marts can be of two types, dependent and independent. Dependent is what? Sourced directly from data warehouse. Are independent means source from one or more data sources. That means from data sources, data marts can independently collect data in independent data mart. But if it is collect data from data warehouse only, then it becomes what? Dependent. Monitoring and administration. Okay. So obviously some monitoring and administration is required for maintaining a data warehouse. So what are the things they perform? They perform data refreshment, data source synchronization, disaster recovery if something happened, managing access control and security, manage data growth, database performance, controlling the number of and range of queries. That means all the administrative issues are going to be maintained by this portion, okay? Limiting the size of data warehouse. So this is basically the bottom tier. So monitoring, administrator, that I have discussed now only. This is the data warehouse. Data warehouse are going to fetch data from the sources, and these are the metadata repository and data mart. So this is another figure of bottom tier. Now the middle tier. Middle tier, that means the OLAP server. So what is it? It presents the users a multi-dimensional data from data warehouse and data. It can be implemented in two models, roll-up and MOLAP model. So whenever we are going to present the data in a in relational tables, that means just like the relational database, then it is the roll-up model. MOLAP model is what? When the data is presented in an array-based structure. That means it is directly mapped to the data cube array structure. Okay, so we are going to discuss OLAP in later. Now only the brief discussion about OLAP. So basically, OLAP is going to represent the data in a multi-dimensional form. It is going to present the data to the user. Okay. Now the top tier or front-end tools. So basically it is the client layer. Okay. So query and reporting tools are there. Reporting tools means production reporting can be there. Report writers can be there. There are many managed query tools also available. That's point and click creation of SQL used in customer mailing list. Many analysis tools can be there. So prepare charts based on the analysis. That is the task of those analysis tools. That is the chart, pictorial, actually graphical representation. Now data mining tools are also there. So mining knowledge, discover hidden piece of information, new correlation useful. So they are going to apply algorithms for finding those. Okay, so we are going to discuss this also later. Just now only brief. So basically these are the architecture. Okay, so in the bottom tier we have data warehouse server. That is all the data is stored here. Now the OLAP server, actually using some logic, the OLAP server is convert all the data warehouse data in a represent to the data. That is basically the multidimensional data representation, which is come from data warehouse or data mart, and it is for the user. Okay, and front end tools are various tools. Those are used for those representation. That is the top tier. Now, basically, we are going to see the principles of data warehousing in a nutshell. So the first thing is load performance. So first we need to load performance. Then load processing, data quality management, query performance, terabyte scalability. So these are the principles of data warehouse. So whenever we are going to build any architecture, where we are going to discuss about, when we are going to think to represent a data warehouse by any kind of architecture, we need to take care about this information. We need to take care about the performance, processing, management of all these things. Scalability is a very important thing that also should maintain. So because data warehouse is always going to handle with a large amount of data, so query performance, data quality management, all these are very important. Okay, and obviously this is a very high-end kind of processing, so obviously quality is a very important thing. So this is actually all about today's class. So in this class we have discussed about the various type of architecture, that is 2-tier and 3-tier architecture. We are mostly discuss about 3-tier architecture. The 3-tier architectures are basically the representation of data warehouse in 3-tier. So the bottom tier is the data warehouse where the data is actually stored. Then the middle tier, in the middle tier we have the OLAP server, where that is a multi-dimensional representation of data coming from data warehouse or data mart. and then the higher top tier, that is the front end, where the which is accessed by the client or user. So those are basically the front tier. Actually in that tier we have some tools, front tier tools. Basically those tools are going to represent the analysis we have made on the data. Okay, so this is basically the architecture of data. So in the next class we are again going to discuss various topics of data warehouse. So for today, now I hope you are all understand that. So for today, thank you, students.